What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. We got an interesting one here. Somebody requested to me. We got the Freetown of Christiania. Europe's greatest social experiment turns 50. This is very interesting. I believe this may be in Denmark. I think. I was kind of scrolling through, looking, digging up some info, looking through the descriptions and stuff like that. But I believe this is in Denmark. So we finna check this out. I love Denmark. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Send down those recommendations.
This is in the middle of Copenhagen. That's
Copenhagen.
why for many years it's been really annoying, especially for the more conservative forces in Denmark, that you have something which has such a high real estate value in the middle of the city, which is like occupied by hippies who don't value money.
Wow. That sounds very interesting. The lifestyle city.
We really don't have to look very far to find a different model. In the middle of Copenhagen lies the Freetown of Christiania. A place that has resisted the market economy. Seriously. And this independently run neighborhood has neither exploding housing markets nor issues with gentrification.
That's all it is?
And that's because people here don't own their houses. They share this place. The whole place.
Huh?
Christiania was first established in 1971 by a group of hippies occupying abandoned military barracks. They developed their own set of social rules, completely independent of the Danish government.
Wow.
The squat was officially recognized in 1989, and it's been called Europe's greatest social experiment. Operating under special terms for 40 years, Christiania's residents have been in constant conflict with the government, who was hoping to tear it all down.
Dang.
They managed to win most of the fights and have been able to stay.
Wait a minute. So you telling me they ain't got they basically making their own rules and their own government type thing? That's interesting. How can you be able to do that?
Though residents still pay taxes and fees for utilities and general services, they have kept their unique rules, and Christiania remains a self-governing district.
This is some of the most expensive real estate in Denmark, and this also shows the proximity of Christiania to the city. I mean, it's right there, right?
Yeah, this is in the middle of Copenhagen. That's why for many years it's been really annoying, especially for the more conservative forces in Denmark, that you have something which has such a high real estate value in the middle of the city, which is like occupied by hippies who don't value money.
Risenga has been working in this neighborhood for 15 years and living here for 9.
Yeah, board member.
He's one of the board members of the Christiania Foundation, in charge of land and housing.
Wow.
So how independent is Christiania? I mean, really the original concept was creating your own better world here and, not cut off from society at large, but just independent. How much interaction?
I'm trying to figure out how you're able to just do that, be independent from like pretty much the whole country and its rules and stuff.
Is there with the outside world, as it were?
I think we all see ourselves as part of Copenhagen. And Copenhagen is also really feel that Christiania is something that's a part of Copenhagen. So we don't have our own schools, we don't have hospitals. There we sort of partake in society like
it's not that
everyone
big.
else. Probably like 70% of people who live in Christiania work in jobs in the city. It's not a cult where we all sort of stay here and wear the same clothes and do everything. But on some fundamental areas, we've tried to work on being independent. We collect our own garbage, we do our own roadworks. For the younger children, we have our own children's institutions. A lot of stuff is done independently.
I ain't gonna lie, I be thinking about doing the same thing. Making my own little community, of course, when the funds and stuff is right. But that would be something cool, very cool.
We're making the new compost station for the gardening group. We have a bit of gravel on the road, and we need some guys to shovel.
That's cool.
We have an infrastructure work group, we have a childcare group, we have a press office, we have an economy office. So there's all sorts of different work groups.
Yeah, well, everything you need in a city, really, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very small city.
It is difficult to be able to live
here. So this is a city within a city. That's different.
Can you explain how that works?
Yeah. If there's a vacancy here, anybody who wants to apply for a space can come by and give their 2 cents on why they should move in.
Anybody from anywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. And then the residents decide who they think is the most appropriate person for the vacancy. If you are as lucky as to be chosen to get a place here, you don't pay anything to move.
What's the
And that has to
population?
do with the structure that we have here, that you can't actually own the house.
Okay.
So you pay a usage fee or a rent while you live there. Whatever improvements you do on the house, it's good for you, but if you move on, you can't sort of say, but now I've improved it for 50,000 or whatever. I've put so much money into it. That's just something that you're sort of giving to the next person who moves in there, or giving to the community.
There were existing buildings in the downtown, right? The military buildings, but elsewhere, like here, people just built their own homes. Architecture by non-architects, just organically improving.
And those look like some pretty nice homes too.
Developing and always having a home at the center, right? None of them are alike, right?
No,
They definitely different.
Beautiful, at least if you ask me.
Unique and different in their
And
own way.
mi casa is su casa, so that's where I live now. So you can see the way it's been built in stages.
Oh man, yeah, totally, huh?
And so this is as green as it gets. We're in the middle of Copenhagen city. Every night when I read a bedtime story to my son, the fox passes by here. It's a really biodiverse area in the middle of Copenhagen. The sort of development of this area you would have if it was to be controlled by market mechanisms would be like just to level everything down, build apartments with a great view of the lake or the water, and it would be super highly priced. But there wouldn't be a fox around anymore.
In 2011, the Danish government, owner of the land, gave Christiania 2 options: purchase the land or be bought out. But purchasing the land would mean giving in to ownership and eventually to speculation. So, a non-profit foundation was established. It would own all the houses and most of the land, so no one could profit from the real estate. And you know what?
That's smart.
People from everywhere in Denmark and around the world are still buying shares to keep Christiania alive.
That's
What's
nice.
quintessential for us is that
See what happened when you get the people involved and you get some people that actually believe in the vision.
the way things are built here is, first of all, environmentally sound, and secondly, socially sound. And I think a lot of the housing problems that we have around the world could be solved if we took out the element of speculation. If we really saw it as housing as being something that has to be publicly available. Now, the way our system works now is it doesn't discriminate somebody who can afford it, but housing is just not only for the people who can afford it.
Copenhagen has a huge housing problem, and it seems somewhat unfair that Christiania, with all that land, has a very restrictive growth model, even if that model is noble. The foundation, however, has plans to build new affordable housing to open its doors to more residents.
So the whole Christiania model, is it scalable?
I think it could. It's also something that could inspire in models of looking at the neighborhoods of the cities which develop and say, is there some form of localized ownership? And many times you'll see that people who are there on the ground have some quite creative solutions to problems that might not be solvable in a municipal office.
Oh yeah, that's very interesting. I've seen quite a few videos about Denmark. I don't think this is the first time I ever heard about this being mentioned, Christiania. That's interesting, but no, I was thinking about it. I was like, eventually, my success. I know I'll be successful. And the money will be right one of these days where. I just make a gated community for me and the fam, everybody. We have our own community pools and all that. It'll just be family type of thing. I always envisioned that. I thought that would be very, very cool. But this is different. I like this. I've never heard of people being able to do that. But, to each his own. And it looked like Christiania is grown. So that's a cool thing. This is cool. Very interesting. But glad y'all sent me this because... First time, I think I got about at least 20 plus videos on Denmark, maybe, or maybe 10 plus. I might be over exaggerating, but never mentioned this. So, but that's all I have for this. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you.